keeps us strong. Strong.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Red Room Talk. Y'all can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. at Eastern Standard Time. I'm your host, Jen. The Red Room Talk is a show about love, intimacy, and interpersonal relationships, including self, to erase different social stigmas. We're here to have candid discussions and cut through those stigmas to show that in the end, no matter your background, we all have commonalities when it comes to matters of the mind and the heart. Nothing is off the table in the Red Room Talk. Last episode, if you missed us, that's okay. You can find us on YouTube by clicking the link in my profile and subscribing. Last episode, we talked about, I don't remember, okay? But this week, we're going to discuss beauty with this week's topic, defining beauty. We have an all-star cast, y'all. We have the real KJ, we have New York Antics, and we have Backshot King. Yep, that's his name. Let's find out how the panel feels about defining beauty, but please stick around till the end. We will need the audience's help later in the show, so do not go anywhere. Before we get started, all that I ask is you keep your mind open and your language clean. First things first, I'm going to let everyone in the box, and then we will get started. Well, hello.
Hello, everybody. I got water.
I got tea, and not the good kind. All right, we're waiting on one more as soon as he jumps in the box. But we let ladies go first because we are polite here on the Red Room. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Miss Beautiful New York, and let us know about yourself and what you got going on the app.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. I am New York Antics. I'm here from New York, New York. You can catch me on Tagged. I stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. and every Friday and Saturday at 11 p.m. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we discuss politics, lifestyles, relationships, everyday topics that affect community, individuals, relationships, that sort of thing. On Fridays and Saturdays at 11 p.m. is Naughty Antics Times. So that's when we do more fun games. We also have Call Time with Antics and other fun adult time. So check me out.
Okay. Well, you looking beautiful tonight. Okay. Look at her looking fly. Okay. Well, go ahead and introduce yourself, Backshot, and then we'll give him a second, and then he can introduce himself. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know what you got going on.
My name is Mr. Backshot King. I go by Shaq. I'm a YouTuber. I do stream on here. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays only. Morning time only. I am a shy person. I barely get on here that much, but hey, we just get on here and smoke when I go live. Make sure y'all come check me out, man. Come hang out with me, come smoke, come game, and come get your ass whipping some Madden.
Okay. Oh, not the Madden. Oh, there we go.
My bad about that, y'all. It's something about this little gremlin.
Hey, I got fur babies. I understand.
All right. My name is KJ. I am a kind of new streamer, kind of not. Trying to make streaming serious. You know what I'm saying? But I go live whenever I feel like it. I don't got no particular days. It's just when I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta go live. But nah, on the 25th, I will be interviewing Gin and Juice on my show, Let's Get Comfortable. Yes. It's not an annual show every week, but it's just whenever people say yes, we will promote it a week and 2 weeks in advance to try to.
Very excited. Well, I am Jen. I am the host of this show right here, right now. You guys can catch me every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I also have some new content coming soon. Trying to get that all in the works, but make sure y'all watch my Instagram to see when that pops up. And then also, I stream late nights into early mornings, very early mornings. If you guys are up, I'm sure you know. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Have you ever looked up the definition of beauty? A few days ago, I googled the phrase beauty definition. I found a definition on dictionary.com that shocked me. The second definition given for beauty is a beautiful person, especially a woman. Especially a woman. I've always thought that beauty comes in all shapes, sizes, and forms. There's beauty in nature, objects, ideas, and people. By people, I mean both men and women. The definition of beauty is an example of how standards for women are deeply rooted in society. Women are expected to be beautiful. To meet the standards of beauty, they must conform to the norms. Hair, makeup, skin, nails, teeth, clothes, and especially bodies are judged. So, my first question is, what is beauty to you, and do you think we are conditioned by society of our view of what beautiful is and what is not? So the first question is, what is beauty to you? You can go ahead and you work.
To me, beauty is how a person views other people and things. So it's not necessarily the person, it's their outlook on life and other people. That's what's beautiful. That's what defines me. Because that's what's going to define who they are as a person. Outside things, which leads apart to your second question, which is does the society conform our view of beauty? That was the second part.
And the second part was, hold on. Do you think that we are conditioned by society to what our view of beautiful is and what is not?
Yes, I do think that we are. Because especially I think it's always been that way. You see it in different fashion trends, in different type of societies, like in the Asian culture when they used to bind their feet, in African cultures with hair braiding, different cultures, different in the European culture with corsets, different views of what's beautiful in society have shaped our version of what is to define beauty. And that's another thing. Society has told us that outward beauty is what defines beauty. Even though in nature, animals do look at outward things to define what they will choose as a mate, we hold ourselves to a higher standard. So that's why I think that we should define beauty as something more inner.
Agree.
Like we shouldn't be conforming to the things that society pushes, which is just outer beauty.
Agree. Go ahead, KJ.
I'm sorry, my iPhone is frozen, but I can only see y'all on my iPad for right now. But
I can hear you though. So what is beauty to you? And do you
beauty
think
to me is what's in the inside. Like a true beauty is not what's on the outside. To me personally, it's just what's in your heart. And
It's so like that. No.
he's like, well, it's all right. He'll be back. It's okay. Well, you can go ahead and answer Mr. Backshot, and then we'll get back to him.
So what was the question again, ma'am?
What is beauty to you, and do you think society conforms to our view of what is beautiful and what is not? So the first part is, what is beauty to you?
Beauty, I feel like beauty is something unique in a woman and inside of a man. Okay, it's not what's on the outside of a human being. It's what's on the inside. It's what their spiritual life is. Okay, if you go out on the outside and look at the spiritual life, it's very beautiful. Okay, nothing is very ugly. Nothing is very stupid. Nothing is very odd. Everything is very beautiful from the ground up. Now, for all the beautiful women out here, let me explain something to you women. Okay, don't ever down yourself saying you're ugly, you're this, you're that. No, you're beautiful on the inside, okay? Go in the mirror, look at yourself every morning, and tell yourself you're a very beautiful woman, okay? Don't ever let a man tell you you're not beautiful. That's 9 times out of 10, every woman in this chat room is a very beautiful woman. Now, for my kings, no homo, y'all beautiful too, okay? Don't let no woman say you're not a beautiful person, okay? Your soul is very beautiful too. You have a heart, have a good mindset, okay? Now, for the second question, I think, uh, that's a tough one. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one to answer.
You think society conforms our view on what beautiful is? Like basically media, magazines. It could be social media as far as like Instagram, photos that they post, things like that.
So, media, we don't talk about social media. Now, if you go on social media, you go on Instagram, you go on TikTok and all that, you see a lot of like weird stuff that goes on, okay? You see a lot of people that downgrades a lot of other people on the internet or on social media, on society, not out in public, okay? That ain't right. That's not cool for what? I feel like everybody's beautiful, okay? You got your negative people that's gonna talk down on you and talk shit and be like, oh yeah, that person's this, that person's that for what? What do you got that that person don't have in life, okay? That person's beautiful just as well as you, just because they don't got what you have at that moment doesn't mean they don't got it the next day. You know, judge somebody from a book by its cover. Because like I said, everybody's beautiful on this earth. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, a boy or a girl. Doesn't matter if you're a fucking animal. You could be Mother Nature for all I care. You're still a beautiful person, no matter what. That's just how I feel.
KJ, you can go ahead now.
I'm back,
so sorry
KJ.
about that. Like I don't know what's going on with my phone. Like yeah, it's bugging.
That's alright.
But what I was trying to say was beauty is not what's in the outside. It's just what's in the inside. That's my definition of it. And I think we all pretty much just get that misunderstood because we see people on TV and be like, that person look good and look at me. It's not all about looks, but it's all depends on what you got in your heart. Like, and when we all die and go to heaven, God don't look at us what's on our outside. He sees what's in our insides to see are we qualified to go inside the gates of heaven. And the second question, like, what is the second question again?
Do you think society, or do you think we're conditioned by society to what our view of what is beautiful and what is not?
I really think society. I think we just get it like we get beautifulness missing screw on what society really means by that. Is because we always look at people like, oh my God, they got this. Oh my God, they got that, and they just look at themselves and be like, I don't have this. I don't have that, and that would make anybody feel depressed because little you know the things you say you don't have, the next person think you have that, and they think you all that in a bag of chips. They think you a whole Thanksgiving meal. So never go by what society give you. Always know what you want in life. Like always know what other people around you say, like, regardless what they say, just you gotta know for yourself, like, I look good. This is what I like, instead of worry about what other people say you like.
I like that. I like that.
Well, beauty to me, it's a multifaceted concept. So it encompasses much more than just physical appearance to me. It could be the spark in someone's eyes, the way they carry themselves, the kindness that radiates from their actions. Like, it's in the laughter that you share with your friends. It's in the moments of solitude and just silence, or you might just be spending with the moments. The passion that you see in someone pursuing those dreams. Those are the things that I find beautiful. And when it comes to physical beauty, I think it's subjective for sure. It's, like they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And I definitely recognize that society does play a significant role in shaping our perceptions of beauty. From a young age, we've been exposed to images and ideals that prioritize certain standards: thinness, youth, and specific features. That's why a lot of women go out, they're getting these BBLs, they're getting plastic surgery, and they create this narrow definition of beauty that leaves many of us feeling inadequate or pressured to conform to society's standards. As you navigate through your life, you learn that these are conditioned views. You find beauty in diversity, in different body shapes, skin tones, and even in imperfections to tell a story. So when you see, like, what I love to see, like, I remember when Victoria's Secret, right? They had, their angels thing, right? And then I believe was it Torrid, I want to say? They had this thing where I'm not an angel, where they had women of all shapes, sizes, nationalities, even women who had like disabilities, like start posing for ads, and they started showing women with real bodies with lumps and bumps and just imperfections, what society would consider imperfections. I remember even growing up, like I remember like my mom, we're talking back in the 90s, early 90s, like it was a bad thing to have a big butt. And now you look like everybody wants a big butt, so society also changes as well. Like back then there was like, ooh, taboo to have big hips and a big bottom and a big, like those things were, they were not what was beautiful to people back then. And now society says thicker women like are definitely, look, we've always been in, okay, but now society is more accepting of women with normal bodies, because the normal United States, especially, like the body size, average body size, is not just the thin. And there's nothing wrong with thin. For me, actually, I had a website that I had started on my old Facebook, and it was called Hug Your Curves. It was for women of all shapes, sizes, like from thin to large. And it just showed that, like, no matter what your body type was, we're all beautiful. That was the concept behind it. And I had women from all places, like from different countries, from different states, that like came together, and they shared pictures and they shared like quotes and things like that. And it was like the most beautiful thing to just see women. Like, I don't care, like I've never said like a real woman has curves, like, and of course, like as a curvy woman, like, I feel good in my skin still. But I don't ever even discount women who don't have curves, because you're still a real woman. And I don't think society I don't think society understands that, these little girls are watching us older generation. Like, they see women how, I remember, I was going through a weight loss journey in my younger years, and my friends' kids, you don't realize how much they're like sponges, right? And we're in the mirror looking at ourselves, like how skinny we're getting, because we were trying to conform to society, and we wanted to be thinner to be seen as more beautiful. And then I remember one day I walked in and I caught her two daughters looking in the mirror at how skinny they were. And I had vowed from that day that I was never going to let society tell me what is beautiful, and especially when I have young girls watching. So from that day on, I taught them to look in the mirror and say, I'm beautiful, and to teach themselves self-affirmations, because I knew that I was something that they were watching to look up to. I was someone. And so, not only society, but if they're going to look at someone, especially in that way, I wanted them to look at someone who could show them that they're beautiful no matter what they look like. And so, ultimately, you just understand that beauty is subjective and fluid. It evolves with your experiences, beliefs, and the people around you. You know, you begin to appreciate the true beauty and authenticity, confidence, and self acceptance. To me, the most beautiful thing a woman can wear is confidence. I don't care if you're 400 pounds, I don't care if you're 100 pounds. But if you walk in and you have confidence, that to me is beauty, is confidence. But does
One
anybody
of my
else?
favorite, one of my favorite quotes from Marilyn Monroe is, "A smile is the best makeup any woman can wear."
That part. Oh, you gave me gooses. I love Marilyn Monroe. But does anybody have anything else to say before we go on?
Yeah.
All right. If y'all are just pulling up, that's okay. We have so much more to come, y'all. You can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Red Room Talk. We just discussed what beauty is to you, and now we're going to discuss who defines beauty. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. If this is true and we openly accept that humans all see and feel things differently, is there a true form of beauty? Take an abstract art piece, for example. Many people might see the countless different things, but what really is the art? If an emotionless and cultureless creature were to see it without political bias, religious values, or anything that might give them feelings toward colors, objects, or shapes, what would they see? Some may see a beautiful work of art while others see it as a mess. So, with that said, my next question is, who decides who or what is beautiful? Do you believe beauty is subjective, or in the saying, is beauty in the eye of the beholder? Anyone can pick it up.
Ladies first.
Actually, I'm gonna make you answer first. Don't put ladies on the spot. I'm gonna make you answer first. It's your turn.
I'm gonna throw that question one time. I hear you, good one. Throw it at me.
Do you believe beauty is subjective, or believe in the saying beauty is in the eye of the beholder? Okay.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. The reason why I say that, because beauty reflects and revolves off that person. They, how can I say this? How can I say this? I'm trying to get it where y'all can function. How can I say this? Their mind, their beauty can reflect off of, it's on the tip of my tongue. What am I trying to say? I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that actually. What's the second question? Because I'm going to come back to that first question.
Do you believe it says who decides who or what is beautiful? Do you believe beauty is subjective, or in the saying beauty is in the eye of the beholder? So who decides who or what is beautiful?
I say God decides who's beautiful and who's not. If it wasn't for God, nobody would be on this earth to look beautiful. I mean, the guy above chooses and picks what you look like and what you don't look like, okay? God could throw some kid on this earth right now. He can come out and be like, hey, I want this kid to be beautiful this one, right? This day. I want this kid to come out with beautiful eyes. Two colorful eyes. I want this kid to come out with, you know what I mean, a different shaped body, but in a beautiful way. I want this kid to come out different from what that other kid came out. I want this human being to be different from that other person. You know what I mean? You gotta look at what God brings on this earth. You know, He's the one that can define to be beautiful, or not to be beautiful, who can be attractive, who cannot be attractive. I'm not gonna say ugly because we're not gonna talk about that. We're just gonna say attractive or unattractive. But for me, I'm just gonna say we're gonna leave that up to God to let Him pick and choose, because He's the guy above that can make you look beautiful and not beautiful, you know.
KJ, you look real.
Okay, I have a question. What was the first question again? Because when I get out the box,
It's
I had.
okay. It says, do you. Oh. Who decides who or what is beautiful? Do you believe beauty is subjective, or in the saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder?
Beauty is the eye of the beholder. Only you can define if you're beautiful or not. Never let other people say what you're beautiful or not beautiful, because everybody have their own expectations of people. And the second thing, to piggyback on King has said, like, God made us in his image. If people say that person is ugly, that means you talking bad about God, because you made me in his God made me in his image. So like, only God can judge people, and the only perfect person, like, it was this quote that I had heard from All Things NFL football player documentary. He had said his mom had said this to him. Jesus was the most perfect person on this planet. They nailed him to the cross. Well, that makes you. No one's not perfect. So just know, no one cannot judge people, because more you judge the person, more piece of you will feel. So never judge people. Just know God made people in his image.
I like that.
New York.
Okay. So while these are the spiritually correct and the way that we would all like things to really be in this wonderful sunshine world, it's not the reality that we live in. It's just, I'm listening and I'm just like, they live where I live, because the question, can you repeat the question, Jen?
The question says, who decides who or what is beautiful? Do you believe that beauty is subjective, or the saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder?
So, like I said, your answers are spiritually correct, and they are the answers that we would hope that people would follow. But in the reality of our world, that just isn't the real answer for where the way that the world is functioning right now. Who defines what beauty is are the people that are in power, who have the most money to put out those ads, to make the fashion trends. The people that are in power are the ones that shape what is going to be defined as beautiful and what's going to be defined as unattractive. And they're going to be able to push that through media. They're going to be able to push that through whatever forms they can to the public, so that they can basically, brainwash society into saying that this is what is going to be defined as beautiful. This is what everybody is going to define as beautiful. This is what you're going to conform to and say this is beautiful, and this is what you're going to say is not. There was a point where natural hair was beautiful, then it wasn't anymore. Braiding your hair was beautiful. Somebody made those decisions, and it made people money.
For sure.
So it's these people that are in power that are making these decisions for what's going to be defined as beautiful and what's not, and what's not. But beauty is definitely in the eye of the beholder, because we all decide what we find attractive at the end of the day. Nobody can tell us at the end of the day what we're going to say is, oh yes, that's what turns me on. And that's why we have some people that are just, wrong, like the wrong things. And we have the people that, Some people like blondes, some people like brunettes, some people like short women, some people like tall women, some women like short men, some like tall men, some like plumper men, some like, you know what I'm saying? So everybody's attracted to what they're attracted to. You can't help that. That's something that's just in you. That hones into what your sexuality, all of those things. That's just a part of who you are. So those are things that you're going to find attractive.
Agreed.
So it's definitely in the eye of the beholder. But as far as, like I said, I do. You're both of the gentlemen, both of your answers are spiritually correct, and the way that we would hope that we did as a society follow. But unfortunately, I feel like my answer is just the reality that we live in. It's the people that are in power that really define what is beautiful.
And it's kind of wild that you said that because, so to me, I actually had this written down. The concept of beauty is influenced by a variety of factors, including culture, personal experiences, societal norms, and individual preferences. Different cultures and communities have their own standards and ideals of beauty, which can evolve over time. Historically, though, beauty has often been defined by those in positions of power, such as artists, fashion designers, media creators. But these definitions can be challenged and redefined by individuals and movements advocating for diversity and inclusivity. Like I was talking earlier, when they had I'm Not an Angel, they had all these women with, like, it was kind of a shot at Victoria's Secret because Victoria's Secret doesn't cater to women with larger body parts, we'll just say, to be appropriate. And so I want to say that it was Torrid or no, Lane Bryant. That's who it was. It was Lane Bryant. They had came out with this "I'm Not an Angel" movement, and they had all these models that came in. I mean, they still had, like, cellulite. They had and even they had thinner women, but they had women of all shapes, sizes, colors, nationalities, like. And they came out, like I said, even women with disabilities, women who had, were amputees and stuff like that. They had them walking, and it was so beautiful. And I remember because I was so enamored that, someone stepped up and said, no, I'm taking that back. Because I remember even as a younger girl, right, going to the mall with my friends, a lot of these women were very thin women, and so, like, going into stores with them made me feel uncomfortable. And I remember I had a friend, right, she was like a size 00, okay, and I wanted to go into, it was Torrid at the time, and I wanted to go in there, and she's like, I feel so uncomfortable. And I said, well, now you know how I feel in every other store we go into, as a thicker woman, to go into. He goes, I just want attention. Well, make sure you hit another button then. But, I'm just kidding. But, to have, a female say that to me as a thicker woman, like, I feel uncomfortable in this store because it would cater to thicker women and you're thinner. But imagine what it was like for me to go in the mall where every store caters to thin women, from double, like, I would see signs like only size 00 to 12 or size 00 to this. And I'm like, girl, that's like not even my calf. Okay. Like, what are you talking about? You're like, I'm a thick woman. I feel uncomfortable in these stores, and you tell me the one store in the entire mall you feel uncomfortable, go grab a pretzel. I remember being so upset at her, like I didn't even want to go shopping with her again, because, like, what, I got one store, heifer, really? And so to see that campaign come out, when Lane Bryant did that I'm Not an Angel, it was so beautiful to me to see women that were depicted that were just normal people, like everyday people. And I remember even was Sports Illustrated. Her name is Ashley Graham. She was the first plus size model to be depicted on the cover of their magazine. That woman is gorgeous. I remember looking at her. I almost had a little girl crush on her because I was like, girl, she was fine. And she had a thick body. Like, she is gorgeous. Like, the epitome of beauty to me. Like, the beauty standard for what women really look like. This is how normal, average women really look like. In magazines, they depict average as in, a thin woman. And not saying that's not beautiful, because those women are beautiful too. But let's see what we normally see on average in a day in America. You know, even on these live streams, I'm sure we see the first thing we see before we walk into a live is the picture on the outside. And that is what deters or brings people in, right? They look at me and I actually would conducted an experiment. It was an April Fool's joke. But I had put a bald head. I know y'all know my little bald headed, my bald headed photo. But it kind of was my experiment just to see like what it was going to do. And so many people came in just to see like, is she really bald? But it was funny to me. I laughed. But what if I really was bald? Like, was this something that you would deter you to tell me whether I was beautiful or not? And so it was kind of an experiment, but it was also a joke at the same time. But it really told me a lot about a lot of people. Like, dang, I would tell you, if I put that photo up, I'm telling you, KJ's been in here. My wifey, Green Eyes, Mistress has been in here. And it brings so many people in here because they're curious. You know, just by something, a look on the outside of the screen is what deters or brings people in. And many people do believe that beauty is subjective, aligning with the saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. This perspective suggests that what one person finds beautiful, another may not, highlighting the diversity of taste and perspectives. Others argue that certain qualities like symmetry or harmony might be universally appealing due to biological or physiological factors. Ultimately, beauty encompasses both subjective interpretations and some shared cultural and aesthetic standards. The conversation surrounding beauty continues to evolve, reflecting changing societal values and a broader acceptance of diverse forms and expressions of beauty. And that to me is beautiful, and I want to see more of it. I want to see real women. I want to see real men with real bodies. Like I've even seen now, even ads for men that have now we loving the dad bod. You know, that to me is beautiful too. It's not always just the cut rough. Not all bodies are beautiful to me. Okay, look, I love big daddies too because I know I'm gonna eat good. But anyways, on to the next question, y'all. If y'all have anything more to say before we move on, just let me know. I can stop for a moment.
Yeah, I would like to say something.
Sure.
It kind of like that what y'all had discussed. It kind of brings me back to this part in my life. Like, if y'all don't mind, can I tell y'all a story?
Is it a quick one?
Yeah, it's a quick one.
Go ahead.
I can make it quick.
Okay.
I was dating someone, and I was at that time I was just worried about what everybody had to say about this one person instead of me having my own opinion, learning for myself. Other thoughts will get inside my mind, like yeah, maybe this person saying this person don't look good for me, so why am I with this person? Instead of me just dealing with this, like going through this situation, knowing things that I had to know for myself. So long story short, I started listening to other people instead of me listening to my own self, if that makes sense, about how this person looked, instead of me having my own opinion, going through the situation firsthand in person, like okay then, regardless what my homie saying, I fuck with you. And that kind of fucked up my I'm sorry.
It's okay. Go ahead. It's okay. Keep going.
My whole situation with that woman, instead of me going through what I had to go through, instead of listening to all the homies.
Actually, I'm going to interrupt just a moment. See, it's people like that right there in the comments. And normally I wouldn't even point it out because I like to just get it out of here. But it's people like that who show us that society says that's not beautiful. And the thing is, you know what, honey, I don't miss a meal, but I promise you my pants ain't, my body ain't never kept me from nothing but a pair of jeans. I've pulled every dude in this earth that I've ever wanted. So things like that, you know, you have people who show you that society doesn't always say people are beautiful, but I promise you I'm one of the most beautiful people you will ever see. And it's nothing to do with my body. It's nothing to do with the way I look or my eyes or my lips or my nose or none of that or my hair. It's because I am the person I am, because I would never say things like that to somebody. I don't care who you are. And I feel like people like that is what takes society down and what makes people like KJ decide like, man, I'm afraid to tell my friends because there's always going to be that one bad apple in the bunch. And I thank them for saying that, because you actually just became part of the show to show you that not everybody views those things as beautiful. But see, people like that, I believe, are the people who are afraid to show that they love that, because he probably likes thick women. He just don't got enough to take care of it. But anyways, y'all, anyway, when y'all hear that noise, that means we are at our hot seat question segment. Our hot seat question is left up to the fate of the audience. I went to Instagram to ask our peers what they wanted to ask for this week's hot seat question. If you want your question to be featured on next week's episode, make sure that you go to my profile, click that icon, and follow me on Instagram to look out for that hot seat question post. Now is the time I need all of you guys in the comments help to pick one person on the panel who you want to answer tonight's hot seat question. Go ahead and enter in the comments now. Thank you, Brian. He said you.
Jen, NY, Jen. Is the one out of y'all too?
NY. We got Tree for NY.
Yeah, we got NY and Jen. That's the time right there.
Well, maybe we could both answer it then, since we got a tie here. How about we both answer? Does that sound good?
I was going to say, it would be nice if y'all answer.
So, actually, Sunny Bay from Meet Me had wrote in the last time I did this show, and she asked the question, do you think your definition of beauty changes when you love someone?
Oh.
Yes, I think so, because I think that when you love someone, you are more susceptible to change or to be more lenient with things that you might not have found so attractive in someone else with them. So things you might not have found so attractive in somebody else, when it comes to them, you overlook that, or you may find it attractive in them because you see it in a different light. So you definitely, yeah.
So yes, I think many people find that their perception of beauty can change when they love someone. Love often deepens our emotional connections and can shift our focus from traditional standards of beauty to a more individual and personal appreciation. When we love someone, we may start to see their unique qualities and characteristics in new light, making them more attractive to us. So me, personally, there are things that I fall in love with somebody, and personally, we can look back at my history, and I love some questionable creatures. Visually. Sorry, but I'm bumps. But things that I find beautiful about somebody is often the things that are most unique. It might be that one crooked tooth. It might be the freckle on their face. It might be their freckles. It might be a scar, like right under their eye. It might be something that other people might find unattractive, but to me, those are the things that make them unique. It's something that, to me, is like a character thing. You know, like it might be something that to other people might be like, oh, he's got that one crooked tooth, but to me that might be the one thing that I think is like, oh, that's so cute. Like, I don't know, even when like I've seen older men with braces or that wear glasses, like those things to me, like that makes someone devilishly handsome. So to me, it's not always about, you know, just like looks, like, because to me you can be a 10 visually, but when you speak, it can make you a 0. It can make you a 2, because if your idealistics and your mentality is immature, or you lack basic morals or things like that, that can make you ugly to me. You know, it includes not just physical traits, but inner qualities like, you know, kindness, humor, intelligence. Those are things that I find most handsome. Like, if you can make me laugh, I promise you, you will have me forever. I love that Martin and Gina thing. Like, we could both just laugh and joke with each other. That is really how to get me, if y'all wanted to know. But it's more subjective and is tied to personal experiences and feelings. Like, when, for me, I'm going to be honest, both my ex-husband and my ex-fiance were not my type. Appealingly, physically. That's not saying they were ugly men. but they weren't my apparent type. But because of their personality, that's really what won me over. They making me laugh, or I love someone I can learn from. Ultimately they were dipshits. I'm gonna just say that because we only got 10 minutes, but whatever. Ultimately they were dipshits, but the things that attracted me to them was ultimately personality based. It was never their look. So the more I loved them, the more they became physically appealing to me. I was like, oh my God, they're the most handsome to me, But, then when you don't love someone, you look at them and you're like, dang, how's put my glasses on. Like, what was I seeing? But you realize love does. It takes off all, those, it puts on these rose-colored glasses, and you look at someone through that lens of that love lens, and they look more appealing to you. They look more handsome. You know what I'm saying? So, man, she keeps hanging about this guy. So those things can often overshadow, the rest of it, because you're so enthralled with them that they look. It's funny how that changes, isn't it? When you love someone, like they look better to you. Like
everything is like, oh, it's so cute and adorable. So cute. But it's the love changes. Those things, you start to hone in on them, and you're like, what did I see in this person? Because like that's so aggravating, that's so annoying. Oh my God, that's so unattractive.
Because love takes off those bounds. Love removes those things that you might find annoying in someone else, or because I always say, if your beard don't connect, neither will we. But you might have a little patch there or something. I'm like, because I love you. I'm just teasing. But those things just become subjective, and that takes off that mask of what it looks good to you. And I'm dead. I'm serious. But anyways, if you're just pulling up, that's okay, y'all. You have not missed much. We still have a little bit more to discuss. You can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Red Room Talk. We just discussed what is beauty to you, who decides what or who is beautiful. Do you believe beauty is subjective, or in the saying, beauty is in the eye of beholder? And if you missed the hot seat question, you missed it. Okay, so make sure y'all check me out on YouTube and subscribe and watch it back later. But now I want to talk about society. It becomes more challenging to define beauty when you're unraveling diverse concepts about beauty. About beauty according to different societies, beliefs, and cultures. Though there are such differences between one culture than the other, one thing unites all of this. Every one of them has its rules to determine beauty, and we discover some of the beauty standards in different cultures. We were kind of just touching on that earlier. Journeying through the diverse beauty cultures and society's beauty rules shows just how much more we have to discover. With the challenges in society, it is now also possible for us to see the changes in beauty standards from country to country or culture to culture. Still, the most important thing to understand here is that no matter what the culture you were born in, be yourself and be comfortable with yourself. You are beautiful just the way you are. So my question is, do you think different cultures define beauty differently?
Yes. Every country is beautiful. They should define it. If they don't define it, they should go in the mirror, look at themselves, define it in their own eyes and then up in their heart, because everybody is equal. Not one person on this earth is not equal and unequal from anybody else. Everybody is equal one by one. Okay? Every country got their own type of looks, own type of styles, the way they talk, the way they dress, the way they act. We all bleed the same. Doesn't matter what color we are. We are all the same by one piece. Blood. Doesn't matter what color you are. They still beautiful though. They should be beautiful anywhere. No matter where they go, they should go anywhere on this earth and look beautiful. They shouldn't disagree on their self, on their looks, or how they dress. No matter where they go on this earth. That's how I feel.
Okay.
Oh, it's my go.
It's your
But I agree with him. Like every country has their own definition of beauty, and especially the countries that's pretty much live in a hut. Like you can really have a lady that have no teeth in their mouth, beautiful as all know what, with no teeth in the mouth, and they would pretty much be like, "This is beautiful." Like everybody has their own beautifulness.
Okay.
So definitely, every country has their own definition of beauty. In some countries, it's actually when you're a heavier person, it's actually seen as a big a, a, because that means that you can afford food, you can afford extra food, where that might not be available to everybody else. So we just happen to live in a country where food is readily available to everybody. So it's seen as a thing of okay, no, it's just it's more for you to look slimmer, because we don't live in a country where it's hard to come by food, and so everybody is on a slimmer scale. But in some countries, it's hard to come by food. So when you're a bigger person, it's just like, oh wow, they can afford a lot of food. They must have a lot of money, you know. And then not only that, like as far as even skin tones, if you're darker, it's because you must work outside, so you're poorer. Because if you're fair skinned, that must mean you're inside more. You're richer. You don't have to be out in the sun that much. So definitely, beauty in different countries is defined in different ways. And different countries have different beauty trends, like I said earlier, with the Asian countries that bind their feet, and in the African countries where they do different things with um, paint, locking their hair and coloring their hair, and they have the women who grow their hair really, really, really long as their status symbols. They have you know other you know other European countries, like I said earlier, where they for corsets and things like that.
Even the women that put like the things on the neck to lengthen the neck. Yeah.
Rings around their neck, yeah.
Yeah.
So you have all kind of different beauty trends that go on in other countries, throughout the years that define what beautiful is.
So most definitely, different cultures indeed define beauty differently, and these definitions are often influenced by historical, social, and environmental factors. So a few examples are Western beauty standards. In many Western countries, particularly in the United States, beauty has often been associated with traits such as thinness, youth, Eurocentric features like straight hair, light skin, blue eyes. This has been perpetuated by media representations in fashions, film, and advertising, which we talked about earlier. African beauty standards. In several African cultures, beauty can be defined by attributes such as fuller body shapes, which are often seen as the symbols of health, fertility, prosperity. Additionally, body modifications such as scarification or use of jewelry are also celebrated in certain communities. Asian beauty standards. In parts of East Asia, lighter skin is often associated with beauty, elegance, and social status due to historical associations with higher classes who stayed indoors. See, you definitely know your stuff. And this has led to the popularity of light skinning products in countries like Japan, South Korea, and China. Conversely, in some communities, features like epicanthic folds or the shape of the eyes may be highlighted and celebrated. Like a lot of women who you see now, and especially Asian makeup, they're using like the eye stickers so they actually have folded eyelids. Indigenous beauty norms. Many indigenous cultures have their own distinct definitions of beauty, which often include deep connection to nature and the environment. For example, in various Native American communities, beauties may be linked to spiritual values, tribal identity, and natural adornments rather than contemporary fashion. Thank you, Kingy. Latin American standards. In different Latin American countries, beauty can be defined by a mix of European, indigenous, and African traits, leading to a broader acceptance of various body types and features. For instance, curvy physiques are often celebrated in media and popular culture with an emphasis on self-confidence and lively approach to beauty. Islamic beauty ideals. In many Muslim majority countries, beauty is often linked to modesty, and the ideals of femininity outlined in religious texts. Hijab, wearing hijabs and other forms of modest dress can be integrated into beauty standards, emphasizing virtue and spirituality over physical appearance. And that is something, even though it may not be something I agree with, but I also kind of love the idea. Imagine falling in love with someone and never even seeing their face until you get married. Like, when you think you really have to, like, fall in love with that person without physicality being a part of that. So you don't get to see your wife unclothed until you're after your wedding day. And so that's kind of beautiful in itself. But these examples illustrate that while the concept of beauty can have universal elements, it also and definition and ideals are deeply rooted in cultural context and vary significantly across the map. What's up, Twisted? But does anybody have anything else to say?
No, man.
No. But yeah, I think like she even talked about, in like Asian countries where they bind the feet because smaller feet were seen as more beautiful. Like those things in different countries might not be the same. Being thinner or being more curvaceous. Those are things that you see across in different cultures that doesn't always define one idealistic. Like United States is something that has their own, and then you go to other countries that, they might, whatever it is beautiful to them. So y'all, we just, if you're just pulling up, that's okay. You guys can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Red Room Talk. We have just, I believe, one more question. Yes, we do. Oh, no, we don't, too. But for far too long, the definition of physical perfection in society and fashion has been at best a narrow one. For those who believe that beauty and fashion are expressions of personality, the concept of plus-size clothing isn't just a trend. We must promote women and men to truly be themselves and push them to be comfortable in their own skins. With the global reevaluation of conventional beauty standards, people have now started accepting beauty for what it is, and that is real. A lot of brands are celebrating and integrating physical diversity into their models, clothing, pictures, etc. We live in an era that is finally waking up to the reality of celebrating beauty in all shapes and forms. Today, brand campaigns dovetail with the larger sentiment of inclusiveness and realistic beauty standards. Despite the awareness, however, there is a vast canvas yet to be covered when it comes to the ideas of the ideal body that are deeply entrenched in society. This is the future. Being imperfect and inevitably flawed is being natural, and natural is what is beautiful. So my question is, do you think size has anything to do with someone's defining beauty? And anyone can answer it.
No.
I guess I'll go first. No, because a person that like you, they would definitely like you regardless what type of size you have, what shape you have. Like, regardless what you have, like, the outside do not matter within that person like you. It's just what's in your heart. That should be the main focus.
So it shouldn't matter to what's on the outside, okay? Beauty. Beauty and size don't really matter to a real man. Okay, I'm gonna explain something to you. A real man don't care about if you big or small, okay? If we find you attractive in the face, if you got a cute smile, you got pretty eyes, you got a cute nose, and beautiful teeth, we gonna fuck with you regardless. Doesn't matter if you big or not. We don't give a care if you 300 pounds, 400 pounds. We still gonna fuck with you. We don't give a fuck if you 98 pounds.
I've seen
we gonna
a
get at you.
600-pound
We gonna love you
woman.
for who you are. You know.
I seen a 600-pound woman look beautiful as I don't know what I say. You know what? I think I might. My bad.
I say it all the time because I watch that show, My 600-Pound Life, and if you watch it, you know that most of the women that are on there, they all have a husband or a man. They're not single. And I'm like, oh no.
They be washing their bodies and everything, and I'm over here single.
He's giving meals in bed. He washing her behind. He's going wherever I find. I can't get him in. What's going on? What's happening out here? you know. And it's like, you know, so definitely size is this is how I'm saying, like, it's beauty is in the eyes of a beholder. There's somebody for everybody. That, you know, this is something that I've even told friends of mine who are, you know, on a larger scale, and they said like, oh no, you know, this is because I need to lose weight. Like, it doesn't matter about you. It's not about you losing weight. It's about who you are. The man is going to be attracted to you regardless of how much weight you have on you or not. It's about him being attracted to who you are, because I'm a person that has fluctuated up and down in my weight, and there have been men that I've been with when I was smaller, and as I've gained the weight, then they were no longer attracted to me. And there's been men that, while I was bigger and I was losing the weight, they were no longer attracted to me as I was losing the weight. But they might, you know, my body shape. So it's all about what a person really is just attracted to.
And I agree with that because, like I said earlier, when we had the little blip in the show earlier, I've also, like, you know, my weight has fluctuated, and I've had people even come on here trying to troll, or men that were attracted to me, you know, before I had lost the weight, that were upset, you know, because I got weight loss surgery, and they were very upset. Like, why would you do that? Like, you're beautiful just the way you are. Why would you do that? And then I had some men who were more attracted to me. I remember, like, this guy that had bullied me in high school. Now, this dude be trying to jump in my DMs at every chance he can get to try to holler. And I'm like, bro, you bullied me. I would never, you know, like, though, even though that was high school. But that's something that I remember that, like, ingrained into my mind as a young woman growing up, you know, who struggled with, you know, weight issues and things like that. And it was never because I ate too much or nothing. And I think that's something that society also believes, that just because a woman is larger, it's because she eats a lot. I'm going to tell you, if any of y'all see me, I snack like a little bird. Okay, but some women have medical issues that cause them to gain weight or cause them to be thicker bodied. And I think that size limiting what you believe is beauty, like she said, I was literally yesterday watching a documentary on one of the women from My 600-Pound Life. Her husband had just passed away, I think like a year ago, and she started dating again and already has a partner, and I'm like, dang girl, I can't find someone that lasts more than a week and you already got another partner. Like, I'd be real upset. Honey Boo Boo's mother's got a man, you know. But for me, it never really defined my beauty, because I always thought about, like I said earlier to the gentleman that was trying to, you know, stop the show, but ultimately my body has never kept me from nothing but a pair of jeans. I have pulled every man that I've ever wanted or desired, I have pulled. And that's not being cocky, it's the truth. I've never had someone, I won't say never, but any man who I've ever been interested in, like, fully and put forth effort in, I've pulled. Like, I've gotten the attention of them. And so my body never kept me from that. And it was because of the way that I carry myself. Not only do I carry myself with high morals and morality, but I have the personality. I'm funny. I'm confident. I'm smart. You know, those things are what attracts men to me. And I used to hate it at the same time, because, like, I would, you know, in the talking stage, men would be like, I love you, after a week, and I'd be like, what the heck wrong with you? You're like, stop it. Don't fall in love, please, God. And then I run. It just felt like running, you know. So things like that, you know, it really was never about me. They're like, but you just have this, you exude confidence, you're funny, like, and women really aren't funny. But, you know, those were things that attracted them to me. It was really never about the body. Of course, you know, those comments would come later, like, girl, you got something, you know, but those things never stopped me from a man desiring me. And if it did, it didn't bother me, because you really are just helping me find the man that is really meant for me. So it really never deterred me, or me thinking that size has anything to do with beauty. No, I've seen women who are very thin that are very beautiful, and I've seen women who are very thick or large and are very beautiful. Like, I'm trying to remember her name. She's got red hair, but she has tattoos, and she's also a plus size model, but very gorgeous woman. Like, I think she was modeling for, like, Lane Bryant, or I'm trying to remember her name. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but she's, like, very tattooed, gorgeous red hair. But she is very beautiful. Like, she even did depictions of like Marilyn Monroe and things like that. She always did like the, more boudoir photos, but she was always confident and beautiful. And I loved that. And I, like I said earlier, Ashley Graham, like, I've seen these women with real natural bodies kill what the definition of beauty was. And so I love seeing that. Is anybody have anything else to say?
Yes, I would like to say this. I noticed we're not featured, so I'm just gonna just say this. This is a statement, ladies. Regardless how you look, there's motherfuckers out there will still want to knock your shit loose. They don't give a fuck if you got no legs or one leg or one arm or no arms. They would definitely knock your shit back.
I don't know if you remember Cat Williams. Even in his stand-up, he said, he always thought that what are they called? Stretch marks were beautiful. He was little and got big, or big and got little. Either way, we fucking, So things like that, even society, he talked about that because it wasn't about that to them. Like, stretch marks were beautiful. I remember even like women who they had a campaign where women put glitter and paint all on their stretch marks to show that it was still beautiful because it was defining women. Women have babies, and those are things like to men that define femininity. Like, stretch marks didn't define their beauty, and so I love that. Thank you for saying it.
All I'm saying is, regardless what size you are, motherfuckers go out to stretch. Okay,
but if y'all are just pulling up, y'all,
a little bit of stomach, but that's
it's okay. You're not gonna say that. A whole lot of cake. Yeah. But even in music, you hear like it really showing that all women, all bodies. Like I said, growing up, it was unheard of to have a big butt. Like, women hated having big butts, and now that's the thing. Like, I like big butts, and I can't. So even back in that day, it was still kind of looked at or frowned upon. Tess Holiday, that's her name. But if y'all are just pulling up, you're late. Okay, you're real late. It's actually supposed to be over, but we kind of ran over a little bit like we normally do. But we just discussed what is beauty to you, who decides who or what is beautiful. Do you believe beauty is subjective? Do you think different cultures define beauty differently? And do you think size has anything to do with someone's beauty? But now I want to know about you. When there is no enemy within, the enemy's out. Wow. When there is no enemy within, the enemies outside cannot hurt you. African proverb. I quoted that to say self-love is a big part of defining your own beauty within, so I'm going to hop right to the question. The last question is, what do you find most beautiful about you?
My dimples and my smile. Shit. Fuck. Shit, my dimples and my smile. That's what I can pull in a woman, is my dimples and smile. If I can smile and pull you with my smile, then it's game over.
I've always been the type that like to make women laugh. I would say my personality and my sense of humor. Well, wait, that is the same thing. But I'm gonna say my personality. And depends on if I get this right. Yeah, I'm gonna say that too. But most likely, my goal is to get my sense of humor to spark people's attention.
I would say me. I think that I'm beautiful. I think that there's multiple things that are beautiful about me. There've been multiple. There's just different things that I found beautiful about myself. Whether it's my personality, whether it's my intelligence, whether it's my smile, whether it's my my kindness, whether it's the way I'm genuine, the way I care about people, whether it's the way I'm thoughtful, whether it's my body, whether it's my tattoos, whether it's my sexuality, whether I just think that overall I try to project beauty from the inner me to the outer me so that I see life as beautiful. I think that what you project outward is what you're going to be surrounded in. So that's what I try to project out.
Whatever you give out, you will give back.
Is what the universe is going to return to you.
Yeah.
So the thing I find most beautiful about myself is like a double-edged sword, and it's definitely my empathetic giving heart. And I think that because for me, like, I don't just look at, like, obviously, like, I can look in the mirror and be like, oh, girl, like, look at you, girl, you looking good today. But to me, the thing that makes me most beautiful is those things, my morals, my moral code, the way that I carry myself. Those are the things that make me beautiful, because not a lot of people have that. Not a lot of people were raised with an empathetic heart. A lot of people were raised on survival. They don't really have that empath in them, that empathy factor in them. Mine is my heart. That part already is. And I feel like, even though that's something, like I said, is kind of a double-edged sword, because that's something that also people can use as like a target, because they know that I have that empathetic heart, so they might utilize that because they know I'm a giver. They kind of, that's a narcissist's favorite, it's a hook, line, and sinker, a target on your back almost. And even though that's true, I still live by that code of having that heart, because somebody out there needs it and somebody will appreciate that. And so I carry myself in a way that is the most beautiful. I never really depended on my looks, and not saying, because I will say forthcomingly, I was kind of the ugly duckling. Like, growing up, I wasn't a looker, and I was just more average girl, because I never really cared about those things. I didn't care about boys. I didn't care about that. My nose was in the books. I was helping in the community. I was doing things like that. Like in school, I was just helping people with their schoolwork. I was the smart girl. I was, never really cared about that until I grew up, and, my curves started coming in, because I didn't have no, I was in the itty bitty club, So I didn't have all that. So I always heavily, went off of personality. And so I think those were things that really shine through to people. And I was kind of always that wallflower. And I remember, and it took my pop, may he rest in peace, but he always said to me, he's like, are you a wallflower because you feel like you're going to outshine other people? And I was like, and I kind of sat there for a moment. And I have this friend group. We've been best friends for 30 plus years, and it was almost and I realized it was the truth. I kind of stayed back and let them shine, because, and it's not saying they weren't beautiful. They were both beautiful girls. They were thinner. They were everything that I thought that I wasn't. But I always knew that I had the personality to back it up that they didn't have. So men might have looked at them first, but ultimately they always adored me because I could made them laugh, and I was more outgoing and boisterous, that things that they didn't have. Like, I know for me, something that's beautiful is I can walk into a room of 100 people and walk out with 99 friends. And I say 99 because that one person, the reason why they didn't like me was because of the way other people loved me. And it's not to be cocky, it's confidence, because I know that the way that I love people and the way that I care for people. And so a lot of people can't do that. They can't walk into a room and make friends like I can. And so to me, those are things that make me beautiful. Oh, see, look at tagged. You are not even, and neither is your mama. You were definitely conceived through anal sex. But anyways, if y'all are just pulling up, this is the Red Room Talk, and you guys can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is almost over. Tonight's topic was defining beauty. You definitely are late, but don't fret. You guys can find us every week on YouTube, which you can find by clicking the icon in my profile and subscribing. And, of course, every week I wrap up the show with a quote that kind of goes with, place of healing, if you will. But this week's quote is, the more often we see the things around us, even the beautiful and wonderful things, the more they become invisible to us. That is why we often take for granted the beauty of this world. The flowers, the trees, the birds, and the clouds, even those we love, because we see things so often, we see them less and less. Joseph B. Worthland. Y'all, this has been the Red Room Talk. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for showing up and showing out. I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate you for Serious KJ for jumping in last minute. Shout out to you. My heart, my heart. But yeah, of course, we always let you guys wrap up and give your outros, but we are polite here in the Red Room and we let ladies go first. So go ahead, New York, and give your outro, and then we'll move on to the gentlemen, and then it's over.
Okay, everybody. So you can always catch me on tags. Giving you tea on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can also catch me late nights, 11 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. That's when we get into the naughty antics. I hope to catch you, bathe me, and I look forward to seeing you.
I'll let my homie KJ go. Go ahead, brother, man. Let the ladies know.
Well, appreciate you for saying that, but I will. Well, my name is KJ, the real one, not the fake one. You can also favor me. I will fave back, and also follow me on Instagram. The link is in the description below. And don't y'all forget, this month on the 25th, I will be interviewing the one, the only, the gin and juice. We finna go behind the badge with this one. And also make sure y'all keep God first and continue living y'all life. And make sure y'all out there winning the day.
Okay. Make sure y'all favor everybody here on the panel. Go ahead and give your outro, Mr. Backshot, and then yeah.
Well, I just want to let y'all know this is my last day being Mr. Backshot King. I will be changing my name after today. But make sure y'all hit me with a motherfucking favorite.
Somebody gave you that name on the
Don't even
auction.
ask that question. We, even though we are not featured, I don't want to know.
Be honest. I mean, Mr. KJ, I'm gonna be honest with you. So this one girl gave me this name on tag.
Hold on. Let me finish the show first. Y'all, I am Jen and Juice. I am the host of this show right here, right now. Y'all can catch me every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you don't catch me here, y'all can catch me late nights into very early mornings. But also, I do have some new content coming at you. I'll be collaborating with Miss Lotta Vibes, so make sure y'all look her up, search her, and go favorite her. And then I have some other content coming with Strawberry, and I have a few other individuals that I'm going to be collabing with, so make sure y'all check in on Instagram and look at tag Loving Me. But make sure y'all tap in on that Instagram to see what we have to come here in the juice box Bay Live, okay? But yeah,
bitch.
let me pay. Oh my God, y'all is immature. But let me play a little ditty, no ditty, Lord, and end this dang recording. Oh my God.
I'm sorry I had to say that.
Why did you just came to set